we're looking at Ignite Trust, building a safer, smarter, cleaner media ecosystem that is powered by Sync Media. And I'd like to now call upon Tejas Apte, Head of Media and Digital Marketing at Hindustan Unilever Limited. Welcome, sir. Thank you for giving him that round of applause. And joining him for that fireside chat, please put your hands together for Shibani Gharat, anchor and senior producer at CNBC TV 18. Over to you all. I'm sure it's going to be a very insightful conversation.
Thank you so much. I must confess that more often than not, I am always and often blessed with the post-lunch sessions. So Tejas, the onus is on us to wake everyone up. So are you ready for the tough questions or not?
Let's give it a good try.
So today we are discussing the blueprint to make digital media transparent, secure, viewable, and consumer first. How do you do that with bots, broken metrics, data misuse? And first, let me ask you, how much are they impacting the business?
So, look, there are different reports out there which will tell you the extent of loss in terms of media investments. So, if you pick a report, I think it was one of the audit agencies which published it about 2 years ago. But the numbers could be as high as 25 to 30% in terms of you're being told that you're getting 1,000 impressions. But almost 30% of it is being served to non-humans, which is essentially bots, who can't buy your products. So as much as 30% can be wasted. This is an average, by the way. If you look at some of the newer things like influencer marketing, there are enough and more instances where people buy followers, which necessarily don't impact my business at all. And that number could be as high as 75 to 80%. So depending on where you are or what kind of digital marketing discipline you choose, the number could be from an average of 25-30% to 70-80%.
So what, according to you, is the larger threat as a marketer, as a member of ISA? What according to you, is a larger threat for the business? The biggest one?
I think what we need to be aware of is that whenever we talk of fakes in, fake views or fake impressions, etc., it eventually leads to lack of effectiveness of your campaign, which impacts business. So the real loss here is that you invested an X amount on media, which in good old world of television, when most of us would watch television or consume print, the paper was printed and you knew the ad came in front of a real consumer. Now if an ad is being put on digital and may not come in front of a real consumer, it will not have a tangible impact on business. So it's the digital ecosystem which loses out. I think the other thing which all of us, and more true for digital in some sense, is that most of digital is either subscription only. I'm saying most of it, I'm not saying all of it. Most of it is either subscription only or ad funded only. People are trying to do a hybrid of half-half subscription advertising. The legacy mediums had the advantage of being 30-40% subscription driven, the rest of it being advertising driven. So there was a good balance of what subscription could do and advertising could do. If all of your digital is going to be advertising driven, then making it safe for consumers, getting rid of any and every fake impression or fake consumer is essential for the health of digital as a medium and not necessarily for businesses. Because if digital doesn't drive growth for me, I will move to other mediums. It's just as simple as that.
And to address some of these challenges, ISA has launched the Media Charter.
Yeah.
So what are some of the issues addressed over there? Transparency is, of course, one of them. So, what has changed on the transparency front as well?
So,
because it has been a buzzword
of course,
for many years
now.
Of
course. So I think a couple of things have come together. One, just for maybe the benefit of audience, is ISA is Indian Society of Advertisers. Just like this is being organized by the Advertising Agencies Association of India, which is for the media and creative agencies. ISA does work for advertisers or marketers in the country. There's been some very good work which has happened over the last many years with ISA. So the TV measurement system, which is called BARC, is co-owned by AAAs of ISA and the broadcasters, of course. So as an industry body, it's incumbent on us to look at what are the trends and what is it that we can do to make advertising more effective for all our constituents. So I think the starting point was digital becoming almost half of our AdEx, if not more now. And then waking up to the reality that maybe large organized advertisers who have the benefit of referring to their global markets or global peers and looking at best practice, maybe some of the local regional advertisers may not have that benefit. So it actually started from there, saying digital is very, very large. Not everybody is well versed with the shortcomings of it as a medium. And hence, what is it that we can do as ISA to plug the gap? So I think we figured about 3 or 4 specific things which we wanted to call out, which are large. I'm not saying these are the only issues that need to be fixed. There might be more. But at a very, very base level, what we called out was that first, it has to be safe, both for consumers and for brands, which means your ad has to appear next to content which is deemed safe. That's very important. The second part was it has to be viewable, which means it can't be a fake impression on a scroll below which consumers are not even going to. Otherwise, as I said before, it impacts your effectiveness. So the brand safety is big for us. Viewability is big for us. Fraud is a big, big problem. Many years ago, when I first did a digital campaign, might be 2008 or 9, I was still in the agency world. I learned of a term called, I think they used to call it ad buffering or something. So you'd basically put 2 or 3 tags of 2 or 3 different ads on the same impression. And because tracking was very poor, you would basically call out as 3 ads to the same consumer. So fraud in various kinds is a big, big problem. And I think the fourth one, specific to digital, of course, is then ethical use of first-party data. A lot of us, all of us keep getting pesky calls from various people trying to sell different things. It's just one of the cases of how data can easily be made available to people. And phone numbers is relatively difficult to triangulate with something else if it's in the offline world. But online world, your profile can be built if so you're being tracked, then it's quite easy to know a lot of things about the consumer. And if people are not aware, if consumers are not aware what data is being collected, and if advertisers don't have the confidence that the databases that they are tapping into have actually been collected with consent of consumers and hence are safe to use, it will create a problem in the long term. So the fourth bucket that we then called out was how do we make first-party data, which is consumer data, how do we collect it ethically, and what are some of the best practices around that. There's another pillar which is on cross-media measurement, but that we still haven't been able to address. But as TV and digital coexist and maybe get into a tug of war with each other, I hope we can do something about it.
Okay. Also, give us an understanding on how will this ISA Media Charter help the platforms share more granular and verifiable data with both the agencies and the advertisers.
So I think one of the good things which came out was that, of course, we wrote the charter maybe a year and a half ago. And then we had a lot of interest coming from the agency world and the publisher world. So the playbooks which are now out in the public domain have actually been co-created with the likes of Google, Meta, Double Verify, mFilter It, whichever is the right partner for that playbook. Basically, we've got the whole ecosystem together. I think what it does is, one, it calls out standards of what advertisers should look at or what advertisers expect data to be shared in terms of metrics. And because it's co-created, the publishers get a very good understanding of what advertisers are expecting. So when digital again was, say, maybe 10 years ago, people would look at click-through rates. And, I'm not saying it's a bad metric. It's just that it's an input metric. If someone clicks on an ad, goes to some place, but he or she is still not buying the product or is not convinced that my product is good, then I don't know what to do with that click. I think we also need to make people aware that there's a set of metrics which are input metrics, which platforms can share with you. And then there's a set of metrics which advertisers and marketers should look at, which is basically business metrics for them. So I think because all of this was co-created, we would like to believe that publishers are more aware of what advertisers are looking for, and advertisers have a better sense of what someone means when it's an input metric that's shared with
And
us.
how does this overall change your relationship with the media agencies and the agencies at large?
So specific to the charter, I think, as I said, if it was just a one-way street saying ISA getting together and creating a charter, then we would not have the kind of acceptance that we had. So we've had, as I said, I called out a few publishers, but we've had people from Group M, from Dentsu, from Publicis, from IPG, from Madison, contributing into making these charters. So I think everybody now has a decent understanding of what advertisers want, and hence what is the metric that the agency should push for with the publisher. And also because publishers were involved, they also kind of know what is likely to be asked. So I think it's just raising the floor on what kind of metrics we look at, and bringing like a minimum understanding of what we should be doing as a business, as a digital ecosystem.
Tejas, you come not just from the marketer's side, because representing ISA, which has been in quite a spotlight for the past couple
Many
of
years.
months. For the past couple of months. So tell us, how have the recent raids caused some of the internal reassessment? Have they caused it at all?
So first of all, I think nobody knows what has triggered and what's being investigated. I wouldn't want to speculate on anything. And if I was good at speculation, I would be in a casino, not here. So.
But ISA was one of the first bodies
Look, I mean,
be rated
the whole
CCI.
ecosystem got, had CCI people coming in. But I still don't think so there's anything in the public domain which tells you what triggered, or anything that tells you where the investigation is right now. So there are enough reports. I'm sure if you Google, you'll find 5 different versions of the same day, depending on who wrote it. So till we know for sure what triggered and what is being looked at specifically, I don't think so it's fair to comment.
So let me put it this way. How do you view, genuine collaboration with the agencies versus what they consider as, anti-competitive?
I think, I can't comment on anti-competitiveness, but in terms of genuine collaboration, I think at least as HUL and as I'm sure it's true for a lot of large advertisers, the agency ecosystem is an extremely critical part of our success. So we've been working with Group M since inception, which is I think 8 years ago now. We were one of the first people, Lintas, for example, came out of this very belief that agencies are a critical partner to success for us. So we actually believe in working with agencies for the long term, and the kind of access that they have to our internal data, which is sometimes confidential in nature. It just helps build a lot of trust. That's one. The second is, if you work with a set of people for a long time, you're also able to challenge better, because you know what you're comfortable with and what you're not. So for example, with a lot of push coming on automation or AI being the buzzword, it is understood by a lot of our agency partners that the service which is offered right now may not hold 6 months, 2 years, 5 years down the line. So we are also pushing them, saying, okay, can you tell us what future fit looks for you? And if there's a whole world of AI and you see amazing videos on X or Google, X is Twitter, X or YouTube, on what AI can do, then you start wondering, okay, great, if AI is doing that, then what are my agency partners doing? And it's constructive criticism for them, saying, you are, at the end of the day, it's a service industry. Your service will be disrupted by technology. So you have to keep finding ways of reinventing yourself. And because we work with partners for a long time, it also helps us push them harder. So I was on a panel yesterday, 30 years ago roughly. And one of the things we were discussing was on AI. And we were just discussing how some of the capabilities which were erstwhile with the agencies are now sitting in-house. It does not mean that we'll stop working with people. It just means the kind of work we do with agencies has changed.
On the topic of moving the agency in-house, which has been like a big trend over the past couple of years, we have seen big FMCG companies move the agency in-house completely. What are your thoughts on this? As a marketer, how does ISA look at it when a big client moves the agency in-house, does all the creative work in-house? Is it more about having that control? Is it about first-party data stewardship? What is it? Is it about transparency? How do you look at it?
So I think reasons could be different, but even when we've seen cases of some of it being in-housed, I can't think of any client where everything is in-house. So let's start from there. There are different degrees of in-housing which different clients have done, including ourselves. And the upsides clearly are that you can share business data more freely. especially if you are, a listed company. So data flow becomes easier. Business decisioning becomes easier because data flows are better. Tech and AI allow you to have a lot of work automated, and you can control it if it sits in-house. Which goes back to what I was saying before, that if eventually marketers are going to automate a lot of the service which is offered right now, then what's the next version that the agency is bringing to us? And I still believe that the big creative idea will still be held by one creative god. And there will be versions of it that AI can make. Holding the brand together in an AI world, like having a very sharp brand personality, is still going to be the advertising agency's job, even if stuff like Pencil Pro or Midjourney actually make like your digital asset. So fine, no problem. But the big creative idea will still come from, as I said, the creative person. The right inputs onto media plan will also come from the media planner. What he or she may not be doing is sitting and making the fringe files on Bach, or going on to the ads manager and logging spots or logging your campaign. That might change. But whether you invest on Meta for your campaign or whether you invest on TV for your campaign, I think the media planning brilliance still sits with the agency. So machines can help you automate a lot. A lot, I believe, will be automated and announced eventually. But the next unlock on growth will still come from our agency partners.
Yeah, but how, do you see like a larger shift towards in-housing going forward?
So,
and then having said that, what is going to be the future of the agency?
Yeah. So I think when we talk of in-housing as a topic, we look at it from the current context. So when it's a classic automation journey. I'll try and simplify it like this. I think most of us drive cars, most of us, or at least all of us sit in cars. If you've grown up driving old Jeeps with really clunky, manual gears and steerings which were not power steering, to being machine-led automated gearboxes and electronic power steering. So automation will always kick in, and you will always evaluate it from what you see currently. So when electronic power steerings came, everybody was like, wow, this is amazing. Like you can do this and the whole steering moves and the whole car moves. So with your current lens, you will still say, oh yes, this can be automated, this can be automated, this can be automated. Yes, all of this will be automated. So it really comes down to how do agencies shift their service, as I called it before. And I genuinely believe that the agency talent today, with all the tools and expertise at their disposal, will move more towards driving solid business outcomes rather than saying, I give you X GRPs at X rate, or I give you X impressions at Y rate. I think we are genuinely in a phase over the next 4 or 5 years where the agenda for something of Goafest might be saying how our agency is driving business outcomes. And that's because a lot of the work which was otherwise manual with the agency will be done by machines. Now, whether an advertiser pays for it and does it in-house, or whether agencies pay for it and do it at their end, that's depending on what advertisers believe. But it will become more outcome-driven, business outcome-driven, than being very output-driven, which is, say, I delivered reach target, I delivered cost target.
So outcome-oriented is your wish list from the agency business. But I have like a couple of more questions about the media charter, the ISA media charter. How do you see it evolving going forward? Let's say 1 year from now or 2 years from now. How would you measure its success going forward?
So I think, as I said, one of the first things, or one of the success metrics for us is that if the smaller constituents from the advertiser side actually start adopting some of these practices. And the best barometer for that is the tech companies who tell us if something is coming next to an ad-safe content. Or if the number of fraud ads has gone down dramatically, then we know that it's not just the large organized players, but also the smallest of advertisers sitting in, trying to target a particular pin code. Even that advertiser is adopting our practices. So if we see overall ad fraud going down, overall brand safety going up, I think that will be a big tick mark for us. And then, as I said, there is still one unfulfilled part, or work in progress part. Let me put a positive spin to it. Which is on cross-media measurement, and I'm sure we'll make some progress on that soon.
But work in progress, having said that, also Tejas, tell us, how have you applied some of the principles of the charter at your own organization, at HUL, and how have they overall improved the media quality?
Yeah.
How has it worked for you?
So, as I said, there are 4 things which we called out. The good thing was because it was a co-creation exercise, even we discovered some new partners. So some of them now help us more on the work around brand safety. Some of them help us get better at how we collect first-party data and use first-party data. We also collect a lot of data offline with home-to-home contacts or sampling programs, etc. I think one is having, as I said, it's co-created, so we learned a lot from each other. I got a couple of new ideas on what else we could do. And then we discovered a lot of new partners in the process. So I think on both these things we've made, ISA Charter has helped us at least.
We are almost out of time. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Tejas. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Shibani. Thanks, everyone.